India will celebrate its 75th Republic Day on January the 26th this year with the theme India, Mother of Democracy and Vikasit Bharat, or a developed nation. One cannot mention Republic Day without picturing the grandeur of the parade at Kartavya Path in New Delhi. The parade features march pasts by the Indian Armed Forces and vibrant tableaux or Jhankees. This eventful day kicks off with the President of India unfurling the national flag, followed by the marching of various regiments from the Army, the Navy, and the Air Force, along with their bands. Starting from Raisina Hill near the Rashtrapati Bhavan, the parade moves along Kartavya Path, past India Gate, and then finally concludes at the historic Red Fort. The parade pays tribute to India, its unity in diversity, and rich cultural heritage through beautiful tableaux created by states from across the country. People from all walks of life gather to witness this spectacle. You might be aware that on the 26th of January in the year 1950, India established its constitution, replacing the challenging Colonial Rule Government of India Act, which had been in force for almost a century under British rule. But I'm sure there are a few things about the Republic Day parade that you may not know about, like, for example, who was the first chief guest at India's very first Republic Day parade? Or where was the first Republic Day parade held? Did you also know that one of Rudyard Kipling's books was once represented as a Jhanke at a Republic Day parade? Hello and welcome to A Century of Stories, brought to you by IDFC First Bank, always you first. I'm your host Kunal Vijayakar, and today's episode is all about the intriguing history of Republic Day parades in India on 26th of January. On January 26, 1950, Dr. Rajendra Prasad, the first President of India, hoisted the national flag, marking the birth of the Indian Republic. The first chief guest of our Republic Day parade was Sukarno, the President of Indonesia. That year, over 100 aircraft and 3,000 Indian military personnel participated in the parade, although it wasn't held at Kartavya Path. However, it wasn't until 1955 that New Delhi's Kartavya Path, then known as Rajpath, became the chosen venue for the parade. In fact, from 1950 to 1954, the Republic Day parade took place at the major Dhyan National Stadium, previously known as the Irwin Stadium or the Irwin Amphitheatre. Alongside the Indian Armed Forces, India's states participated in showcasing their cultural heritage at the parade. But the Jhankees were modest and homespun. The first Republic Day parade hosted at Rajpath, or Kartavya Path as it's called today, happened in 1955 with Malik Ghulam Muhammad, the Governor General of Pakistan, as the chief guest. In 1959, just 4 years later, that year's Republic Day parade showcased more elaborate tableaux, like for example, a dam, a giant onion, and even a tableau depicting laborers working towards building the nation. These Jhankees symbolize nationwide growth in infrastructure, agriculture, and industry. For example, the dam represented India's developing infrastructure. The giant onion symbolized flourishing agriculture, and the tableau with laborers reflected industrial growth. During this era of India's growth, certain regions like the NEFA, Northeast Frontier Agency, which was originally a political division in British India and later became Arunachal Pradesh and Assam, put up the Tawang back to normal tableau. This Jhanke wasn't just a cultural display. It represented the relentless fighting spirit shown by the Jawans of Arunachal Pradesh to win this war with China in the middle of 1962. In the following years, Jhankees from Kashmir and Himachal Pradesh displayed soldiers guarding the border with intense focus. As we move from the late 60s to the early 70s, national resources, growth, and sentiments evolved, and Republic Day parades reflected this change. In 1969, Haryana's tableau featured the theme Wheel of Progress. It portrayed a large wheel with 3 or 4 people standing behind it, striving for progress. Interestingly, in 2004, Madhya Pradesh presented the Jungle Book, featuring a large animatronic Baloo threatening to devour a surprisingly calm Mowgli. This represented the great threat caused because of vast forest tourism in Madhya Pradesh. Then, the Ministry of Law and Justice of India showcased the Supreme Court tableau with a live 3-judge bench. It was also the year when the Indian Railways, for the very first time, featured a life-size railway compartment with passengers boarding and disembarking. All in all, 2004 highlighted India's growth in various spheres. Now, let's talk about the Republic Day Parade in 2014. The Ministry of Agriculture showcased a jhanki featuring 2 chickens in a glass case and a woman speaking on her mobile phone. This theme was based on the Common Service Centre model, a service launched by the government to increase transparency and reduce citizens' efforts in visiting government offices regularly. Similarly, in 2017, the Lakshadweep Islands also presented their tableau at the parade. They featured a large turtle flapping its flippers to showcase the vast potential of the sea tourism industry. Noteworthy also in 2017 was the GST Jhanki, which included a large bowling ball with GST written on it, knocking over pins labelled excise and octroi. As we all know, Republic Day parades not only highlight India's military strength and cultural diversity, but also showcase technological advancements, the shifting momentum of national sentiment, and the continuous evolution and growth of our nation post-independence. You've been watching A Century of Stories brought to you by IDFC First Bank. Always you first. I'm Kunal, and I'll see you next week to tell you about Milkha Singh, who is also known as the Flying Sikh.
IVM